going to a global currency, and really that's their savior. And in a personal level, I would recommend that they do it. Now, it means the United States and the American empire instantly crashes because our dollar would have to be recalculated against this new basket of currencies.
Yes.
They may say it takes $1,000 to buy a barrel of oil because your dollar is worthless, which it is.
Yes.
And your derivatives are crud, and we've been burned by you, and we're just not going to deal with you nasty fellows again. Now, that is a karmically sort of okay thing for us because we have to go through it one way or another. We have to deal with this as a cathartic kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It will force huge stresses on our society, though.
Yes. Internal. Oh boy, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, I know, and I've seen financial analysts talking about when they're talking about the stock market. They've actually mentioned, and they've actually said, a lot of people they're not focusing on as the dollar weakens is they're not focusing in on the Amero. Actually said it, the Amero. What is that?
That doesn't save us. That doesn't save us at all, though. Economically, the catharsis will occur.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the past situations, I happen to have been fortunate or unfortunate enough to live in Europe at the time that the French franc collapsed in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to do an exchange, old francs for new francs. And every time they do this, usually you have a huge loss or transfer of wealth. They try and strip the system of everybody who's got cash. And because they do it on the assumption that, well, we don't know about your cash, we can't tax it, therefore you're illegal, and you're doing illegal things. And so we're going to have a 5-to-1 or a 6-to-1 ratio. So in other words, to buy an MRO, you may have to pony up $5 or $20 or $30 or $100, and you'll have a 2-day period in which to do it. Most of the country is shut out. There's always problems with it, and the transfers never go well.
Yeah.
And it still is a huge cathartic experience. And in the case of France, that actually precipitated the situation that cost them their colonies in Algeria. Not that they wouldn't have gone anyway, or in northern Africa, but it caused all kinds of social disruptions in the French-speaking world.
Yes. Wow, unbelievable. Tell me about the website. People can go to it. They can see what exactly?
My website's a little bit restricted in the sense that we don't put our stuff out there because it causes us problems. We don't want any of our material out and about because we end up eating it and we spiral in on it. So basically what I've got is a little site that just describes what we do, and you can subscribe for an outrageous amount of money, and most people probably are better off not doing so. Mm-hmm. Then if you really want to read about what we're doing, we have an outlet that we screen out of our data collection, and that outlet is George Ure's urbansurvival.com site. And he has a daily posting where he chats about the world with an interesting viewpoint. And he will put out our public announcements there, and we've been getting quite a few of them simply because there's been a lot happening. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's almost like one a week or something where we'll say, intrude on everybody's day and say, oh, by the way, pay attention to this or whatever. In this case, we're discussing the markets and the crash beginning on October 7th.
Yes.
And we don't see it letting up, and in fact, we see that the concerted effort here can go one of two ways. The safe way for the planet is that the whole planet binds themselves into an anti-dollar union in some form and controls things that way by pressure on the powers that be from the outside. That allows us to burn out our excesses in a cathartic experience and hopefully regain the nature of our democracy and proceed to rebuild ourselves with the enthusiasm and creativity that I know we're capable of. The other way is that we take down the planetary financial system with us as our dollar will roll over in this giant debt berg of these huge toxic derivatives.
Yes, very, very fascinating. Clif, it's always a great time talking to you. I really enjoy it. I'm fascinated by it. I am. I absolutely 100% am. I really appreciate you coming on and spending the time to talk with me about it.
Sure, no problem at all. Anytime you want.
All right, thank you so much. You have a good night, and we'll have you again. We'll have you on again, especially around December. Around December, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
around the 12th. If we've still got communications, hopefully I'm wrong, and it won't be the Northwest, and we'll still have phone service. But
right.
That would be a good time.
Yeah, that would be a good thing if we don't. It's oh boy. Have a good night, Clif. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.